One of the most impressive things about John Constable is his paintings of the skies. And you look at his paintings of the skies and they're really beautiful. They're unique and they're just, he just had all this natural and phenomena of nature. And he really was able to capture the skies like no other painters were able to capture it. Hi, this is Anita with 5 Minutes with Art. Today we're going to talk about a British painter, John Constable. John Constable was an important 19th century British painter who's best known for his landscapes, in particular some of his majestic and wonderful paintings that he did about clouds and skies. He's really best known for painting the British countryside, but what made him really unique from a lot of other painters during his time is many of the other painters would paint places that were famous for people to visit or places that people wanted to go visit. But instead, he painted scenes and he painted landscape, which is familiar to him. He basically painted his own surroundings. He was known to go out into the countryside, go out to nature, he'd take a sketchbook with him. And you need to remember, this is before something like en plein air became an important aspect of art during the Impressionist era. And one of the reasons why is what changed all of that, where people could go out and paint outside, was when the paints were able to be put into tubes. So during this time, the paints couldn't be put into tubes. He wasn't able to paint outside. So instead, he'd go out into nature, he would sketch his paintings, and then he would come back and he would paint them. He worked in quite a few different mediums, but he's known for some of his watercolors and oils and other type of mediums that he did. What's interesting about him, too, is he was from a relatively wealthy family, and his father wanted him to go into the family business, but he kind of said no. He said, no, I won't go into the family business. I want to be an artist. So he went to study. He fell in love with a woman by the name of Maria Bucknell when he was visiting her grandfather, the rector that was there. And she, fell in love with him, but he was sort of the struggling artist. So the family kind of said, we don't want you to marry him. He's a struggling artist. At this time, women really didn't have many choices. So she was from a, relatively okay family. They had some money and they didn't want them to marry this poor artist. They courtshiped in secret for many years. And, when his father died, then suddenly he was left this substantial amount of money and he was finally able and free to marry Maria. They lived in London. He based himself out of London for a long time, and then her son John was born. But about 2 years after they were married, Maria began to show some signs of tuberculosis and her health was failing. So they moved out to the North London suburb of Hampstead. And there it's where he began to paint the Hampstead Heath, and he began to turn his focus on painting different types of skies. One of the most impressive things about John Constable is his paintings of the skies. And you look at his paintings of the skies and they're really beautiful. They're unique and they're just, he just had all this natural and phenomena of nature. And he really was able to capture the skies like no other painters were able to capture it. From 1824 on, his paintings became increasingly fractured and they communicated almost a kind of like optical effect. And, many of his paintings begin to communicate like a physical experience of nature in almost an abstract kind of way. And because of this, and because of the way he painted this, there are many who kind of feel that he was sort of the precursor to Impressionism, that he sort of led the way into Impressionism art. And that's kind of what makes him sort of an important artist, was because there's many that feel like he was sort of this precursor to the Impressionism. He was able to obtain some international success during his lifetime. And like many other artists during his time, in his latter years, he really did suffer quite a bit from depression. He was a contemporary of J.M.W. Turner, who is also well known. Even despite all of his many personal struggles that he had during his lifetime, he was able to produce some amazing works of art. And he really has some beautiful works and is really a painter that is worth knowing about and worth viewing his paintings. If you'd like to see some of his paintings, you can check out some of our blogs, in particular the blog about John Constable, the British painter. We'll have some pictures up there of some of his paintings. You can see some of his amazing works of art. We'll put a link below in our description so that you can get there and be able to see and learn more about this wonderful British painter. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate you. We appreciate you spending 5 minutes with us each week to learn something new about art. Thank you to our team, specifically Rico, for helping to put this podcast together and making it possible.